everyone! Husky Ninja here with a brand new Pawsome deck overview for you guys! Today, we have an underrated series, and that is a no game, no life deck build. And this one is called I Have No Game and I Have No Life. It is a book shot trigger deck, and it was submitted to my Pawsome deck section of my server by Space Cowboy. I will put a link down below to this deck for you guys to check out for yourselves. So without further ado, let's start! So right off the bat, we have 4 copies of Blank, Sora, and Shiro. Auto, pay 1, put the top card of your deck into your clock. When this card is placed on stage from your hand, you may pay the cost. If you do, search up to 1 cost 0 or lower character with level equal to or lower than your level with Sora or Shiro in the card name and put on any position on your stage and shuffle your deck. And auto, when this card attacks, choose one of your characters and that character gets plus 500 power to the end of turn. It is a nice card to get other cards out that feature either 2 characters on it. And it is also good to see that there are 4 copies of this level 0. So you can get your other level 0 cards out relatively easily with this card, as long as they have either Sora or Shiro in the card name, which includes with itself. Next, we have 3 copies of Phil. Auto, when this card attacks, if you have 1 or less other characters, you put the top card of your deck into your waiting room. If that character is a level 0 or lower character, put that character on any position on your backstage. This is great, especially if that card is an assist. So it's like, okay, play this, do his ability. Oh, there's an assist. That goes straight where you need it. Or, you're going first. You play this card. That you get another card out that you'll then use to attack with your following turn. And auto, when this card becomes reversed, if this card's battle opponent is level 0 or lower, you put the top card of your opponent's clock into his or her waiting room. If you do, put that character into your opponent's clock. So it's like, oh, I'm gonna clock heal you? Ooh, by the sounds of it. But it's going into your clock anyway. So it's an interesting card, but I'd mostly just have it for the first ability. Next, we have War Beast Representative, Shrine Priestess. With auto, pay 1, put this card in your waiting room. Choose up to 1 character in your hand with a level equal to or lower than your level. And put on the stage each position that this card was on. So for example, if you're level 1, you can get any of these cards here out. Or if you're level 2, you can get this card out. And just play it over where this card was. So in a way, it works almost like a standby without being a standby. Next, we have Little War Beast Girl Izuna. Auto, when you use Accelerate, reveal the top card of your deck. If that card is level 0 or lower, put it on the top or at the bottom of your stock. So it's a good way to help you build stock. Otherwise, return it to its original place. Climax cards are treated as level 0. And auto accelerate. Put the top card of your deck into your clock. At the beginning of your climax phase, you may pay cost. If you do, this card gets 2,000 power and a soul to the end of turn. So it's a good way to get stock built up, as well as to give itself a little bit of a power boost. So 4 copies of this. 3 copies of the Shiro card. When this is placed on stage from hand, look at the top card of your deck. Put it on the top of the deck or bottom of your deck. In action, Brainstorm, pay 1, rest this card. Flip over 4 cards on the top of your deck, put them into your waiting room. For each climax revealed amongst these cards, search your deck for up to 1 game character. Reveal to your opponent, put in your hand, and then shuffle your deck. So it's just basically a good way to get a card from your waiting room back to your hand. Well, not your waiting room, from your deck. Next, we have 2 copies of Roll Chain Battle Shiro. Continuous all your other game characters, get 500 power. So it is an assist, without being an assist, so still play this on your back row. And then your whole of your front row's 3 slots, each one of them, including your other back row, will get 500 power. An auto climax combo, when super healthy space is placed on your climax area, draw a card, choose 1 card in your hand, and put it in your waiting room. So it's a way to let you draw a card and then get rid of a card you don't need in your hand to your waiting room. And lastly, for level 3, we have 2 copies of 1/2 of Blank Sora. Auto, pay 1. Put 1 card from your hand in your waiting room. When this card is placed on stage from your hand, you pay the cost. If you do, search your deck for up to 1 game character. Reveal to your opponent, put into your hand, and shuffle your deck. So again, it's level 0 of this is very much getting cards from your deck, shuffling your deck to get cards you do need, and getting cards from waiting room onto your stage. Next up, we have 4 cards in level 1. So we have 4 copies of Blank's Victory Condition Sora. Auto, when this is placed on stage from your hand, this card gets 1,500 power to the end of turn. Auto, climax combo, when this card's battle opponent becomes reversed. If super healthy space is in your climax area, search your deck for up to 1 game character, reveal it to your opponent, put it into your hand, and shuffle your deck. So it's a way to get a card out of your deck, shuffle your deck afterwards, like we saw a lot in level 0s. But you also get, for a turn, an extra 1,500 power. Next, we have 2 copies of Eno. When this card is placed on stage from your hand, look up to 2 cards from the top of your opponent's deck. Put them in the top of his or her deck in the original order. And when you use Accelerate, choose 1 of your characters, and that character gets a fun ability to the end of turn. Auto, pay 1. When this card's battle opponent becomes reversed, you may pay the cost. If you do, search your deck for up to 1 game character, reveal it to your opponent, and put it into your hand, and shuffle your deck. Action, rest this card, choose 1 of your characters, and that gets 1,500 power to the end of turn. So it's essentially, so you can see, like, what is my opponent going to basically cancel on the first one, or on the second attack damage step, and then just be able to get a power boost, as well as more of getting a card from your deck, put it in hand, shuffle your deck afterwards. So this deck, so far, I can see is a lot of get characters from your deck, shuffle your deck afterward heavy. Next, we have 3 copies of Eastern Federation Ambassador Izuna. Auto, accelerate, put the top card of your deck into your clock. At the beginning of your climax phase, you may pay the cost. If you do, this card gets plus 1,000 power and the following ability to the end of turn. Auto, when this card's battle opponent becomes reversed, look at up to 4 cards from the top of your deck. Choose up to 1 game character from among them. Reveal it to your opponent and put in your hand. Put the rest into your waiting room. So again, it's getting more cards from deck, shuffling with a power boost. Next, 1 copy of Sudden Surprise Strike Shiro. Auto, pay 1, put 1 card from your hand into your clock. Use this card as backup, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose 1 of your opponent's characters, a level higher than your opponent's level. to the bottom of his or her deck. And action, counter, backup, pay with its backup of 1,500 and level 1. Pay 1, put this card from your hand into your room, choose one of your characters as being frontal attacked, and that gets an extra 1,500 to the end of turn. So it's still mostly a lot of deck-focused retrieval. This one, if your opponent's got a level, like early runners out, you can just send them straight to, early runners or standby summons to get them basically sent straight back to the deck. So next up, we have level 2, where there's only a single level 2. Which is Precious Presence Fill. Continuous, assist all your characters in front of this, get X power. X is equal to that character's level times 500. An auto, climax combo, pay 1. When the promised long ago is placed on your climax area, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose one of your opponent's characters and move it to another open position of his or her stage. So if your opponent has nothing on their back row, you can send it there, or move it to an empty slot that's in front of one of your cards you know is going to be stronger. And next up in level 3, we have 3 level 3 cards. Starting off with unbelievably cute Izuna. Continuous, if you have 4 or more game characters. This gets minus a level while in your hand, making her a early runner. Continuous, when this card gets plus 500 for each of your other game characters on your backstage. So get 1,000 from just having 2 copies of this on your back row. Plus any power boosts, so I would increase the amount of this one. And possibly reduce the copies of this one. Just to get the most out of the plus 500 for each of your other game characters on your backstage, plus the level times 500. Assist boost. It helps get these cards quite strong that way. And that's without any climax cards. And auto, when this is placed on stage from your hand, put the top card of your clock into your waiting room. So it is your clock healer. And next up, we have 4 copies of 2 Become 1 Hero. Auto, climax combo. When Welcome Gamer is placed on your climax area, if this card is in your center stage, draw up to 1 character, and this gets plus 6,000 power to the end of turn. And auto, pay 1, put 2 game characters from your hand into your waiting room. This ability activates up to 1 per turn. During the turn that this card is placed on stage from your hand, when this card's battle opponent becomes reversed, you may pay the cost. If you do, stand this card. Which means then, essentially, you can then basically go for the attack again. So like attack, you turn your card sideways, do your attack. Then, if you can do the auto where you pay to restand this card, you do that, then you go for the attack again. That's how I can see how this card works and why it's good to have 4 copies of it. Next, we have 4 copies of Rebirthed World Shiro. Continuous, if blank Sora Shiro, which is the level 0 we first looked at, is in your clock. This card gets minus level while in your hand. So as long as this card is in your clock, this level 3 is a level 2. Auto, when this card is placed on stage from hand, draw up to 1 card. Put up to 2 cards from the top of your stock into your hand. Choose an equal number of cards in your hand and put them in your stock in any order. So it's a good way to get some cards you know you do need that are in your stock from your stock, but then you just put cards you don't need in hand to your stock. And auto, when your opponent uses an action, this card gets 1,500 power till the end of turn. So it's good, even without having the early run, where it's like, okay, the cards I do need for this turn, they are in my stock. I got 2 I don't need in hand, play this, get to the recently sent to your stock out, then put the 2 you don't need where those cards were in your stock. And next up we have the 2 Climax cards. We have 4 copies of Super Healthy Space. All your characters get 1,000 power and 1 soul. And it's got the shot trigger, which is during this turn, when the next damage dealt by the attacking character that triggered this card is cancelled, deal 1 damage to your opponent. And we have 4 copies of Welcome Gamer, which is your typical 1/1 power boost, but with the book trigger. So when it triggers, you may draw a card from your deck. And I have to say, with how this deck runs, if you don't know how to run a deck like this, it's going to be a pain to run it. But it is a fun idea of basically getting stuff straight out of your deck to hand and everything. But if I played it, I would not have any idea how to run a deck like this. But thank you, Space Cowboy, for sharing such an interesting deck build. Like I said, there will be a link to this deck down below, as well as a link to my Discord server. And while you're down there, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Make sure your restriction mode is turned off, because otherwise YouTube will hide videos from you guys. And we can't be having that. And if you want to take part in any future content, make sure to check out my Discord server. As well as if you want to submit your own decks on Decklog or Encore decks to be featured here on my Pawsome Decks deck overview videos, please make sure to check out my server for that as well. Until next time, bye everyone!